Hi, in this first video, we are looking at energy creation and generation. And part one, because there is a much longer video, there's a 35-minute video already with all of these tips all in one go. This one is just focusing on energy beliefs, which for me is one of the first things that I looked at changing when I was in a place where I was sleeping 10 to 15 hours a day and still feeling tired, moving into the place I am now where I can really get 2 or 3 hours sleep and I feel absolutely fine. So my name is Marilyn Devonish. I'm the founder of transformationstm.com, and I work with both individuals and organizations, really looking at anything to do with accelerating mindset. When I'm working with people on an individual level, it's normally around things like removing old habits and beliefs. It may be around accelerating their performance with all the photo reading stuff that I do. And when I'm working with corporations, it's often around change management, leadership development, executive coaching. And what I'm looking at here today is the whole piece about how you can really be creating and generating energy even on very little or no sleep. Because one of the things that people talk about a lot when they meet me for the first time is they will say, oh my God, you've got so much energy, or you've got amazing energy, or you've got really vibrant energy. And oftentimes these are people who, they don't work in the field of energy, they don't talk in energetic terms, yet somehow they just feel compelled to say that. And so one of the things we're looking at is it really possible? Because people often say, is it possible to feel totally energized after just 2 or 3 hours sleep? And oftentimes, at those times where people are mentioning how much energy I've got, that'll be one of the times where I've only had a couple of hours sleep or have had no sleep at all. Yet people will be saying, my God, you've got loads of energy. We're also in the longer video looking at what can contribute to that constant sense of tiredness and what can you do to create and generate more energy. On the full video, we're looking at energy beliefs. We're looking at how you can replenish your energy and have it flowing. We're going to look at something called ha breathing, which comes from the field of Hawaiian Huna. I also take you through what I call the active waking meditation, and also looking a little bit about what I call the higher self energy flow. And also how to clear out the old emotional baggage, because a lot of the time it's that stuff that you can't see that you're carrying around or that you stuff down and try to put a lid on, which can really, really seriously drain your energy. And as I said in this short video, we're just going to look at the energy beliefs. But if you want the longer video, it's already up on YouTube. So do sort of check that out. And just to give you a little bit of background about my energy and why this is one of those topics that I'm really interested in looking at and speaking about, I was in a place where I was tired even after getting 10 to 15 hours sleep a day. And I mean chronically tired. I don't just mean, oh, I've had the odd late night. This went on for almost 3 years. And I had what I would call brain fog. I was forgetful. I was irritable. I was often in a state of confusion. It almost felt, the best way I can describe it is like having a cotton wool head. And also at that time I was working in an investment bank, and I gave up my job because I couldn't cope with that and doing the other things that I wanted to do outside of work. And I would fall asleep anywhere and everywhere. And I remember one of those defining moments where it's like, my God, there really is a problem here. I was out to dinner with my then partner. There were 4 of us sitting around the table. The restaurant had just served up dessert, and I was doing that nodding dog thing. And I just caught myself before I made a nosedive into the trifle. My partner didn't really pay much attention because we live together. He sees me all the time. But the 2 people I was with, they'd never seen anything like it. And they were like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, sure. I just get a bit tired. And I know lots of people say that. However, it was really chronic stuff. And I said that was my life for 3 years. And I kind of got to the stage of thinking, well, that's it now. That's what my life is going to be like. And I might as well just kind of make the best of it. That was before I stumbled into my first personal development training, where they talked about the mind-body connection. And that's when I started thinking, oh, hang on a minute. I wonder what would happen if... ... So the 5 or 6 processes I'm going to show with you over the course of this video series are the things that I did to move myself out of that place where I was sleeping 10 to 15 hours a day into the space where I can now be absolutely fine on 2 or 3 hours sleep. And it wasn't just a one-off thing. I first started doing this back in October 2000. And at the time of shooting this particular video, it's now September 2013. So that's 13 years. So first thing in this little series is energy beliefs. The first question I have for you is, what do you believe about your energy? Because what you believe about your energy is going to contribute into the way your energy shows up, the way your energy behaves. So that's the first thing. And I know I believed about my energy that I felt as though I was like a battery. And my battery would always be half empty anyway because of the chronic tiredness. At that point, a lot of it was kicked off by a thyroid problem. Also wasn't helped by the stuff that was going on in my relationship at the time. And I believed that my energy was like a battery, and that throughout the day, it would run down until I got to the point where I was on empty. The next thing I would ask you to think about is, where does your energy come from? And again, when I sat down and started thinking about this, I realized that I thought my energy came from inside, and as though I had this little battery pack or this little cell inside. And again, it was running on empty. It was always low. And when that was gone, that was it. I was finished. I was spent. I was done. The next question that's really important is, who or what affects your energy? And what I mean by that is, people often say, oh, so-and-so is such an energy vampire. Or, oh no, I can't be around so-and-so, they really drain my energy. And that was a place I used to be in, where I'd say, oh no, I haven't got the energy for so-and-so, or I can't go to such and such because the environment makes me feel tired, da 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 da. And I realized that when I was putting the responsibility for my energy outside of myself, it meant that I had very little control over what was going on. So really think about those beliefs, because when you start changing what you believe about your energy, everything will start to change. And rather than seeing myself as a battery that was always on the verge of running down, rather than thinking that my energy had to just come from inside of me, and rather than thinking that I was the product of all of these things happening to me and I had no control, as soon as I started to change the way I thought about my energy and change what I believed about my energy, I started moving into the place where I was no longer running on empty, and I pretty much became the Duracell bunny. So energy beliefs is the first thing I would say start looking at if you want to change and transform your energy in some way, shape or form. What this did for me, I've already said about the chronic tiredness, about the sleeping 10 to 15 hours a day, about the brain fog and confusion, about the irritability and poor focus. Once I started looking at the things that I'm sharing on this video series, I went from the chronic tiredness to having tons of energy. I went from sleeping 10 to 15 hours a night to sleeping, and I put 3 or 4 hours a night so it sounds a bit more normal, but pretty much 2 or 3 hours and I can be good to go. And as I said, that's been for the last 13 years. I have found that when I'm doing that, I'm mentally sharp, much more patient, much more focused, much more with it, much more on the ball. And I have to say at this point, I'm not advocating that as a way of life, because the majority of people would not function well like that. What this is about is saying, for those times where you've got a late night, an early start, a really busy schedule, you can use what I'm sharing here to give you a bit more energy. I'm not suggesting for a moment that you want to start doing what I'm doing and operating on between 3 and 5 hours sleep, because I know many people out there feel a lot better, both physically and psychologically, when they've had their 7 or 8 hours. So that's not what it's about. It's just saying there are things that you can do to give you that extra push, that extra boost of energy. And as I said, there's a full 35-minute video if you want to get all of the other tips in one go. This one has just been about the energy beliefs to get the ball rolling. And if you have any questions, any queries, any comments about anything that I've talked about here or that's on the longer video, you can of course get in touch via Facebook. It's /Marilyn Devonish, and Marilyn is Marilyn. Devonish is a Devon with an ISH on the end, so DEVONISH, and it's the same for Twitter as well. So feel free to kind of send me your comments, and if there's a video out there, I'll certainly point you to the video, and if not, I'll do what I can to answer. You can also go to my website, and with regards to everything that I've talked about on the longer video, I've also put together a 90-minute MP3, which is like a guided recorded process. So if you want to get that, just go to the website, which is www.transformationstm.com, and transformationstm.com. It's one word, TRANCEFORMATIONS, transformationstm.com. Website, when you get to the website, click on the resources tab, and then you'll find a way to access all of those resources, the MP3s, the coaching workbooks. It's all free of charge. You just need to put a valid email address in and it will send you the password. You can also drop me an email, marilyn@transformationstm.com, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. So thank you very much for joining me for this first short video in the series. By all means, go straight to the longer video if you don't like waiting and hanging about. And I very much look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you.